Welcome again. Tuesday, the America First Warehouse. Thank you, Lord Jesus, for letting us be here again. The most patriotic venue in all of the land. We have to wait a minute because I think Joe's running a little bit behind.
Wait, you're not Joe?
No, this is John the Blanket Infantry.
Here I comes.
Here he
Don't
comes.
start
Joe,
without me.
Johnny!
Johnny!
Teach you to be on time.
Don't
Here he
start
comes. Here he
without
comes.
me.
Oh, my God. Isn't that beautiful?
Don't start without me.
We're
Here
not
I
going to start
come.
without you. Thanks for making it on time, Joe
Oh,
the
my
Fox.
goodness gracious.
Oh, isn't that beautiful?
No wonder.
You know what? This guy's got patriotic underwear. He's got everything with the America First on it. He's amazing.
That's called the reveal, Kev.
It's not easy getting out of this thing, I
America
got to
First
tell you.
podcast.
He's got stars and stripes on his underwear, but they're not red, white, and blue.
Oh, my goodness. You guys are
He
too
got
much.
some stripes.
See what I
I
did
bet
there?
you've got stars and
He's got the
stripes
Cleveland
on.
Browns stripes.
Yeah. How do you like that one? I got to go back and hear that again.
Next
Well?
week, can we do it where I pull in my 2012 Chevy Sonic?
We're just afraid it wouldn't make it up the ramp.
I
So we
thought,
gotta-
There's a ramp?
I thought that was in the shop, all broken down, Gino.
All better.
You know, and then I see
He's
you
got the
sleeping in
trans
seat.
version.
Exactly.
What an incredible day. Again, Johnny, thanks for opening up. I am very grateful to my Lord Jesus Christ. It takes me down this incredible path. I got super duper friends here today, and one of them will shock you for sure, and that's Gino Biscotti.
What I do?
Good morning, Gino.
Good to be, I've been here for an hour waiting for you.
I'm picking you first. Then we're going to say hello, and then we're moving down the line.
It's good to be here. I was just saying to John, this weekend I'm in Boca Raton bringing my patriotism and comedy to the Sad Man Comedy Cafe. So I really need you to reach out to all the people and just lie to them and
I
tell
will
them
send
to
that
show up.
information out if you get it to me.
I will get that information,
I got a
but
few
oh my
friends down
God! And if look, I'm sorry that I keep bashing Mom Donnie because I think he wants to arrest the head of the Jews.
He
Thank
does.
God you voted for him, all you Jews, all you gays. Don't worry, he's coming for you next. How you
Oh,
doing?
you're not going to believe what we have, and we got so many things to show you. Also in the studio today with us is, of course, Johnny Blanket, who started us off. How you doing, Johnny?
Awesome. Love
How was
being
Fire Island? Fun?
here. Fire Island was very nice. Got away without any sunburn. And there's a lot of patriots out there. A lot of houses that I saw with flags. I was kind of proud to see that. Yeah.
Wow,
And
I'm
surprised.
impressed. I'm surprised.
Really?
too. KDJ, what's your impression of Fire Island?
I've never been. I've never been
Are you
because
sure? Allegedly.
Allegedly. Well, Gino got monkeypox or brought it. No one knows. He could be patient 1 or patient
How do
10,000.
they get this monkeypox? It's like because you're dirty when they're doing this in a bathhouse. There's a bath right there. What are you doing? You're doing it in the wrong order. Well, you're doing it in reverse. All right. We got the Jews and the gays. We hit the ground running. Not even 3 minutes in. How great is this?
It's a great show. It
Can I
really
borrow your
is.
car?
And we got, yeah, you can take it right after the show. We have a few other people I want to introduce. Look at my little nephew, Luke the Nuke. He's
What's
such an
up?
angel. What are you doing, Luke?
I'm just living the dream.
You are living the American dream. And guess what? Gino might have remembered something.
He brought me a cigar.
already hit him up.
It's a flathead for
And if
you.
I can do another shameless plug, that's not an Oliva. That is a cigar from my neighborhood. There's a place like literally 5 blocks up in East Harlem. It's called Races, R-A-I-C-E-S. And they let in all kinds of races. But they hand roll cigars. You sit there, you get 3 of those for $15. I know, big spender, but I love that place. It is just another nice little nuance of living in the city that they
Another
haven't ruined yet.
shameless plug by my man Gino,
There you
promoting all of his strategeries. Hey, listen, we got 2 other great people I want to bring in. If you can put them on the picture on both sides and give us that group shot. Because the first one, I mean, of course, Lisa Azzarelli, you're going to come in and tell us all about the news. And we miss you when you're not in the studio. And then I want to try and bring in my next friend is Guy Reffitt, 2 F's and 2 T's. This man, hey Guy, this man, I want to give you a quick. I want to give you a quick rundown on him. These are some bullet points. You were sentenced to 7 years in jail for your participating in January 6th. You were pardoned by the greatest president ever. Your son Jackson turned you in, and I know there's a story of forgiveness in there. You were also recorded in saying you was going to pull Nancy Pelosi out by her ankles, which was
with her head hitting every step.
Yeah, so the head hitting every step. Well, they must have left that out.
How else do you get her out of the toilet when she's puking?
And
That's the
you
way
know,
to do it.
allegedly, you transported firearms to D.C. Silencer and other charges were later dismissed. So you can discuss all of that if you like.
I like.
You like.
I like.
Well, I like it too, but you just give me a couple minutes for Lisa to come in and give us the headlines, except for the topics, and then
Ladies
you are on the
first,
show. You're on the show with us all day today. We got an hour and a half with you, Guy. Lisa, how you doing in Palm Beach or close to it?
All right. We're doing okay here in the Sunshine State. I'm so happy to be presenting with the crew from the, of course, most patriotic venue in the universe. So this week we have some important news. Of course, we have Guy Reffitt on, so we really want to hear his background and his story and his side of what took place during the J6 riot and after arrest and then the pardon, where he is now and where life will be taking him. On that, we also want to talk about the election integrity speech. We know we're going to hit this hard on the panel today. Trump presented it on Thursday. Really blockbuster news regarding China, regarding a DHS report on over 175,000 registered non-citizens that are voting. Lot to unpack there, so stay tuned for that. We also need to speak about January 6th then and now, and that's when we'll get to Guy Reffitt. We'll take an overall look at that over 1,500 people who were pardoned for J6 and, you know, kind of where they are now. Also discussing court reform, so necessary. As we know, some judges are passing things that go against the president's rulings. Some wins we've had there, but also not some. So we want to take a look at court reform. Last, we have energy independence. We're going to take a look at this whole thing with the Iraq war, where it's going. The Strait of Hormuz has been closed again. There's a battle going on back and forth, a lot of missiles and attacks, and we need to put that into perspective of the where, why, when, and how. We know that the U.S. has set a record in exporting over 100 million metric tons of liquid natural gas. We are a major producer, and so it becoming that power, global power, is necessary to maintain proper negotiations and peace amongst the world. So how do we get there? Also, we're going to just talk about one thing with RFK Jr., in that two states just made the announcement today, so we're giving you hot off the presses, that 2 states will now be restricted from dispersing Medicaid payments. Guess who they are? California, Gavin Newsom, of course, and Minnesota. So stay tuned.
Surprise, surprise. I love the way things are going down. And we do have a couple of minutes, and I want to bring up Trump's speech. You know, I had waited with anticipation as it came on Thursday night. We had Bible study before. We did a lot of praying for the president. So I want to bring in Guy Reffitt here. And I want to know, did you watch this speech, or were you watching NBC or CBS that night? And what was your biggest takeaway? Because I know you watched it. Guy Reffitt.
I did watch it, yeah. How could you miss it? I think it was everybody with bated breath for that evening. Everybody. The only thing we didn't have was the popcorn, but we did have a good time watching it. I mean, you know, with Trump, you never know what you're going to get. That's the beauty of him. You're always anticipating what he's going to say, what he's going to do, and you never really know. But he did drop some pretty huge bombs on America. I mean, you're looking at 220 million voters registration stolen by Chinese. How do you argue that's dangerous to America? You can't say that it all went well if they're sitting on all that data. So, but you know, there were times whenever everybody sat there and told me later, you know, that wasn't what I was expecting. Well, I don't know what you were expecting. We gave you what you need. So you got to work with that. It's not going to give you everything. That's just too easy.
Dude, I dig that perspective, you know, from really, you're just like such a normal guy, in my opinion, when I look at most American citizens, you know. They love the country, they love steak, you know, they love freedom, they love going things, you know, going places. Hey, Gino.
Hi. How are you?
You're an independent voter.
I am.
And what did you take away from that speech?
I think the real problem, the only problem with that speech is that it wasn't televised on a lot of major networks. And there's something in the Constitution about a free and fair press, which we have not had in ages. And I'm going to point something out. If the President of the United States, the greatest country in the world, the most powerful man in the world, wants to have a press conference to tell you that the moon is made of cheese, then you need to televise that because, one, he's the president, and you need to let everyone in America say, let me me watch this so they can say, wow, I think he's right. The moon is made of cheese. Or more likely, they can decide this guy's nuts and he's got to go. That's what we never got with Biden because he never went on anyway. You see how with his book thing, his book, whatever you want to call it, rollout that an auto pen wrote, if anything, he was never on. So it gets easier to not cover a president who always wants to be on, and they covered it on their digital platforms, and the second he got done, CBS and NBC, within a minute, NBC, well, he was lying. CBS, that was proved false. No, it wasn't. Stop saying voting things that were thrown out of the court for lack of standing doesn't mean they were litigated and thrown out. They were never reviewed.
Goodness.
And no one knows that.
Who put fuel on that fire over there? Hey, Lukey, did you watch the president's address?
I heard bits and pieces about it from my dad.
Yeah, well, your dad happens to be an excellent source of information
Yeah.
when it comes to the president and what's going on. What did you think about those stations that didn't cover it? ABC, NBC, your favorites, right?
They're what?
You like
They're
CBS, NBC.
fakers.
You called them out last time. Who's the fake news media?
The fake news media is CBS, NBC, ABC, and MSNBC. They're a bunch of...
Don't forget about CNN, young man.
CNN,
And
baby.
CNN.
They're
If it has a
garbage.
B and a C in it, it's fake.
Here's the greatest thing about Luke is that, you know, Jesus blessed the children, and the children are so innocent. I watch my grandsons now growing up and turning into little baby boys. He's always going to be that way. He's always going to be in God's grace. Hey, William, do you got something we can throw up there, a 3-minute video, and you guys are going to love this stuff. I just picked it off the internet.
Intrawebs?
This is the voice of Tina Peters. Unfortunately, this is the only way I can speak to you tonight. I look forward to the day I can speak to you with my real voice. Thank you for gathering here tonight. I especially want to thank Andrew Womack and the Truth and Liberty Coalition for the Samuel Whitmore Award. I am very humbled by your recognition of my service. There are so many others I feel should be in this place receiving this award, but you chose me. With accepting this award carries with it much responsibility. Having put my hand to the plow, I cannot turn back, and neither can you. Our country, as you know, is in a dire place in history, a nation just 250 years old, founded on God and liberty. We must, every one of us, ask God, what is our part? Use me, Lord. You've mentioned courage. I say, you don't know how much courage you have until that is your only choice. And character and integrity is what you do when no one else sees. Every day in prison is very difficult, from threats, assault, loud chaos, and unfair treatment. The only thing they cannot take from me is honesty, integrity, and my faith, which gives me the courage to continue on, and that I'm fulfilling his purpose for me and this nation. It's been 5 long years since I exposed the truth. Millions in legal fees, and I'm still here in prison. Your financial support, letters, and informing people of my incarceration are appreciated deeply in my heart. For me, though, the pain comes not from the lack of recognition of me, but what I expose. Every time I see on the news a Spanberger, a Mondami, Virginia redistricting, New Jersey, and others being selected, I know what is responsible. The cure is closed races, the obvious 51% machine manipulation. We can do other measures like mail-in voting, ID, etc. But in the end, when you are using the machines that are programmed to achieve the measure, whether it's higher taxes here in Colorado, abortion, elected officials, it will all be selected by the machine. I lost my liberty. Protect your rights, all of them. Now they're trying to take my voice. Be my voice. Tell the truth. Persevere. Please warn our officials before it's too late. The proof is at tinapeters.us, the expert forensic report, and the reason that I'm here in prison. Please don't let my sacrifice continue on without exposing why. Psalm 20 says, May he grant us according to our heart's desire, all to fulfill our purpose. We will rejoice in our salvation in the name of our God. We will set up our banners. May the Lord fulfill all of our petitions. With the saving strength of his right hand, we have risen and stand upright. And I will not back down, give up, or give in. May the King answer when we call. Thank you so much, and God bless you all, and God bless our nation.
This is a J6 prisoner, political prisoner as well. Guy Reffitt, have you had a chance to meet or talk to Tina Peters?
I have not. My wife, Nicole, has. They spent time on the corner together.
What an incredible story of Freedom Corner, and we're going to talk a little later about your wife, what a patriot that she was in representing you. But you kind of blow me away a little bit because you're such a regular guy, guy, isn't he? Hey, KDJ, did you have a chance to talk to Guy Reffitt?
I have not. Hey, Guy, my name's Kevin Downey Jr.
How you doing, Kevin?
I was allegedly in or near the Capitol on January 6th, but lawyered up and shut up. Best advice I've ever heard in my life, lawyer up and shut up.
Yes,
I know who
very
you
good
are.
advice.
I know who you are, and it's a real pleasure to talk to you, man. And I'd love to have you on my radio show sometime.
All right, Kevin. I'm not a huge talker, but I do like to speak once in a while when people ask me questions.
Okay.
Guy, I was reading the book Still Standing by Robert Moores, and he brings you up. You were really the first wave of J6ers. And I just showed the Tina Peters story because you guys are really on the parallel lives. The government
Correct,
did you wrong, right?
Yeah, we're all in it together, and this is a nationwide effort.
Do you find yourself angry when you watch and listen to these people lie about us every day?
It doesn't make me angry. It just makes me sad. It's sad that America has come to this point. We sleptwalked right into this entire mess.
Yep.
For some reason, we're just now coming to the realization that they've been here. They're here. They've been here a long time, and they're here just to destroy us. So, everybody's got to wake up and start getting back in the game. We've been at war a long time, and everybody's got to get back into the little battles so that we can get back to the war.
Well, with battling the mainstream media that doesn't even show up for the president's address. What can patriots do?
That is one of the battles, yeah, for sure.
And the other battle, as you're going to see in my next segment, is the Islamification of the United States. I mean, I can't go anywhere without, you got a mosque every, circle. They're building these lily pads all over the place, and I see the women wearing shabibs, which kind of brings me to the question of, to Lisa, how would you like wearing a shabib on Sundays?
Well, I'll tell you this much. So my nieces and nephews were raised Muslim, and their father had relayed a story to me, very interesting, that at the time when they were kids, him and his brother, the father worked for the airlines and would take both of his sons out of that territory when Hamas or Jihad would come in to recruit these young men. The father foresaw that there was an issue with that, and that faith needed to be separated from the radicalism. And that really stuck with me. And when he was raising my nieces and nephews, two of whom are now Christian, have converted, he said to them, wearing the hijab is up to you. So he still empowered his daughters to follow the faith as they saw fit to also their feminine capabilities. Those are the types of things that need to be highlighted with the Muslim and Islam communities. If they could assimilate well with the American culture in respecting, that is what we need to applaud, not the ones who are going to try and push Sharia or conversion to radicalism.
There was a murders in Texas, Guy. Maybe you're familiar with that, where there was I don't know what they called it, a mercy killing, where the father killed the two teenage daughters because they were dating non-Muslim men. And that was a big case in Dallas. And I got that from the movie, The Alamo, Don't Sharia My Texas.
I think it's fascinating.
I'm not familiar with that too much, so I'll speak on that yet.
So listen, you being the patriot they are, I heard you telling earlier you're no longer in oil and gas, but you made a living on oil and gas, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I mean, that's something like, these are my passports. I've traveled multiple countries, 23 around the world. I've worked in Saudi Arabia for years, Kuwait, Vietnam. I've traveled all over the world, and I've been around Muslims, and I get, Muslims are really nice people. They really are. They have a very strong conviction in their beliefs. It does not assimilate here. You know, I have lots of Muslim friends. I'm not downing Muslims. I'm not going to bash on them, but I'm going to tell you that they don't mean to do what's about to happen if we allow it to continue. They just are wired that way. It's just how they're raised. And this country, our Constitution doesn't allow the kind of abuse that comes with the women and the children and the way that the children are treated and married into. It's just not our culture. And I can't, it bothers me a lot because we're watching it happen and we're not doing enough about it.
Yep. Well, I believe that there's a movement that's happening, and the reason why I think it's happening is because you drive down the road. You know, where I grew up in Dix Hills, it was a tough neighborhood. It was mostly Italian that I remember, and now there's this super mosque. And what I learned is what they do is they build these lily pads. All right, so the money comes from overseas. The money has to come from someplace. So they buy an old church. They buy an old synagogue where the religions were shut down during the COVID, if you remember. People stopped going to church. Church didn't make their baskets. They had to sell. They're selling. There's a rally today on Long Island for, I don't know, 400 acres for the mosque and building permits. They're selling it to the Muslims. There's a big rally in there tonight, and maybe Teresa can put it out on the news. I mean, on our platform.
You're better off.
One thing with the ladies and the hijabs that they wear. Just think of how much time they won't have to do their makeup and their hair. All they got to do is throw the hijab on. They don't even have to shave their armpits.
Yeah.
Speaking of Muslim people, I was on a train last Wednesday. I think I was going to Kasha at MSG. I saw a family of Muslims on the LIRR. I think one was wearing like one of those like
Cover up.
thingies.
Turban?
Yeah, like one of those turban. I mean, it's messed up.
Well, he probably was with 3 of his wives and 7 or 8 of his children. That's how they roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not compatible to the United States of America.
No.
The founding fathers, and there's a little history in that too, Guy. The founding fathers had the battles. Jefferson had the battles with the Barbary Coast, with the bandits that were coming in, stealing all the American product, sinking the ships, and killing everybody on board, because that's their belief and that's their way of life. And we got another commercial coming up in about 4 minutes. But I'm interested into hearing, about your thoughts on this, KDJ.
Well, I can't imagine having 3 wives. I'm busy with Geno's. I mean, who's got time? Oh my God, he's here. He's here.
You nailed it. That was great.
I just
Well,
didn't
let that
see
go.
you there. Did I make you spit your coffee back in? I thought I heard that.
You really did. That was great.
Look, the Red-Green Alliance is very real. Red being communism, green being the Muslims, as they say in England, the Muslims, the rapey Muslims. It's very real. Everything going on in England will be here in 3 years. Now, right now, England is fighting. The Labour Party, that's the liberals, the globalists, reptiles, they're fighting to not release crime stats by race because they know they're going to have to say, wow, we let in a bunch of Muslims and we paid for them to live and eat and reproduce, and now they're raping and stabbing their way across the UK. We made this happen. They're actually hiding the crime stats so that their people won't know. Imagine that. Hey, people are out there raping and killing you, but we're not going to tell you which ones. Good luck.
And am I wrong to say, like, and Lisa pointed out, like, the kid Muslim, like, there's a difference in my mind. You take Muslims, you add Sharia law, and you've got these idiots that are Islam, and it's just evil. And that's why they take all these, that's how they buy the churches and the mosques. And if I'm going to convert one, I buy the synagogue, because you could Jew them down on the price. But when you, hot dog, that's funny. But when you are looking at this, and by the way, it was an honor killing. If you don't get
There you go.
no, shout out to our boy Freddie from Phoenix in the chat said it. It's an honor killing because these animals think it's an honor to kill anyone that's not Islam. I'm sorry,
apologize.
not Muslim, because Sharia law makes that sane to the insane.
And then plus they're allowed to lie about it. So they're allowed to look you in the face
What's
and
that called?
lie
Takia.
about their religious
Takia.
beliefs.
And for those who say, oh, I'm a moderate Muslim, when they're done killing us, they're going to make you into a diehard uber Muslim, or they're going to kill you too. So what we really need are these moderates to stand up and go, hey, let's not explode anymore.
Well, here it is. My friend sent me this to T-Mac. She's working today, which we're very happy to have her back. The mobilization alert on July 24th, 6 p.m. The 120 student boarding school on South Saxton is a giant neighborhood, 260 South Saxton Avenue, Bayshore. They are selling this tremendous 120-room boarding school to the new Muslim community that's coming in. Hey, do you got another video ready? Line that up. We got about a minute before the next one, but I'm pretty certain if you happen to have the cartoon, that might work out nice with the Alamo. You know, I don't really like sounding, you know, angry and frustrated at another religion. I don't care about their religion, but their laws got to go. They cannot be here. We got to stop it somehow. You got something you could throw up, William?
Well, anyone that puts any law above the Constitution, which I learned last week is the law of the land, thank you. Anyone that puts any law, especially if I may mispronounce it, Sharia law, they need to go. Like, there are plenty of Muslims that just sit there and they do the call to prayer and they don't need you to ring a bell in Manhattan, and they're wonderful people. And then there's people that aren't people, and they're the ones that think honor killing's a great thing and Sharia law is actually a law. They need to go. It's that simple, because isn't that treasonous? Treason. Can we take treason out of the Constitution or wherever it is? Because no one gets charged with it, and everyone on CNBC and NBC and CBS should.
My friend Robert Moore's Lego Man, perhaps you know him, Guy. His expression is there is really no peaceful Muslims, just patient.
Wow.
Patient, and that's kind of profound, because he fought.
I would agree with that.
He
I
fought.
mean, it isn't that they don't mean to be. It's just that they're going to wait until it's time. Like, we have 4.65 million Muslims in this country. That's documented, or that we can count right now. That may be higher, most likely higher. And if 10,000 of them rise up, you're not fighting 10,000 Muslims. You're fighting 4.65 million. It's just how it works.
And I don't want to, this divide so much, but I believe if they convert to Christianity, maybe some of them can stay. But the Sharia law can't go. You got a video ready for me to go? Any one of them, doesn't matter.
Dealer's choice. You got me good.
Beneath the Texas sky, I can rope and ride like Daddy, and I never ever cried. But now the world's a-changing. Girls must cover up to their eyes. Don't wanna be sold to some old man. I'd really rather die. So just go home. Just go home. Just go home. Sharia law is not welcome over here. Just go home. Take your medieval rules and stick them in your ear. Just go home. Your Sharia law will never rule our land. Just go home. We've got the Second Amendment to help you understand. Just go home.
The movie is out, and that cartoon was created by Chris Burgard and his company, and it's only got like a couple of shares. It's not really going viral. He shadow banned it with it, and I think it's the Sharia law problem is what it is. You know, I mean, I know Lisa has some great friends. Even Chris Burgard has a friend that he loves, but he's not here, you know, doing the things that the Sharia law allows. I mean, I can't believe that the LBG community is not up in arms about this.
You know, it's funny,
Well, Joe,
too,
wasn't
because there was
there just recently an LGBT cruise line
Yeah, I was
that
just gonna say that.
attempted to port in Turkey? They were denied access. The Turkish government said that the values of the people on board did not align with the country's values, and then the ship had to reset course and then attempted to dock at another port, which was also a Muslim
away.
country, I
Egypt.
believe, in Egypt, and they were turned away from there as well due to their lifestyles. And then I believe they moved on to Greece, where they were possibly finally provided some support.
Some rear
But
end
this is-
support.
th-
Yeah,
this
I was
is
about to say, like,
significant.
you know who would know this? Kevin, because Kevin was a rear admiral on the LGBTQ thing.
I was.
And
You know
he
what?
was an expert in docking.
Those ships go so much faster because of all the lube. People don't realize that.
Well, you know,
Take it and ratchet it up.
these two guys, I got to separate them further, I think. Next time I'll put them on both ends of the stage.
The Sean Diddy Coastal Cruise.
Guy Reffick, can you tell us a little
We're out
about,
of
you
work.
started talking about your experience overseas. Were you in the services at all, or you just working for the oil and gas company?
I worked for Saudi Aramco, which is the national oil company over there, and I worked there for several years. I've also worked in Kuwait for the national oil company, Kuwaiti Oil Company. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things you couldn't do over there that we allow over here. You can't put into a search on an internet search. You can't put in the word Bible, can't put in the word Christ or Jesus or anything of a Christian search, because it automatically flags you under a protective system. So you can't do those kind of searches. So if you're looking for a scripture while you're over there, so that you can kind of talk to people about, you know, Christ or the Bible, you're not getting that. You better and you're not bringing in a Bible. That's not going to be allowed. Yet it's just different here. So that's, you know, the antithesis of their beliefs, you know, is just insane.
Hey,
Like,
Guy,
yeah.
can you wear a crucifix there? I'm hearing yes, I'm hearing no. Like, I got one on everywhere I go.
I didn't wear one because of the. I kept my head down low, keep myself out of problems. So even
all right.
whenever I filled out forms, I left them blank when it comes to religion.
So did I hear that you were keeping yourself hanging low? Is that what you're trying to do,
That's
hang low?
right.
So-
It's the desert. It's hot. It's not a cold weather climate. So it's definitely going to hang low.
Can I, Minnesota, you're in trouble out there. Can I ask you on a off track a little bit to the day of January 6th? You know, like, how did you get there? What made you go there?
Yeah, no, it was being COVID, and everybody understood that, you know, the masks were garbage, the social distancing was garbage, the vaccines were garbage, everything was a bunch of, you know, the election was a bunch of garbage. Everybody could say, well, it wasn't stolen, yeah, it was stolen, but there was definitely some anomalies. And Trump brought that out in the speech the other night, as well as what we already knew. Yeah, so I was just like, okay, well, there's not, you know, I'm not working overseas anymore. I'm doing very little here at home. So let's go check this rally out. And, you know, you go across the country. What, are you going to not go to the Capitol and bitch? Because you're going to bitch. I mean, you got things to say. So you take, my whole life, I've always been told, if you have a complaint, you take it to the steps of the Capitol. And by God, that's exactly where I ended up.
But so now the president is speaking. He's at the ellipse, I think it is, which is like the big circle right across from the Washington Monument. Were you at the ellipse at that time? Because you ended up in the West Tower, did you not?
Well, yeah, I was at the ellipse for the speech. I was right there on Constitution, just on the other side of the ellipse. It's about as far as as close as I could get. Met up with some, you know, some friends from the neighborhood that I didn't know they were going. They ended up there. My wife said, "Hey, you know, they're there," and I said, "Okay." So I met with them, and then, you know, and I couldn't even hardly hear the speech because it was so crowded, and I'm just over there, you know, talking
Millions.
smack. Everybody heard that on the news. was talking trash with other people, trash talking, and said the things I said that got used against me in trial, which was way over at the White House. And then after the speech, everybody started gravitating toward the Capitol. And so when I got there, it was a lot going on when I got there.
Did you go? Did you go into the? You were in the Capitol because you were looking to drag
No.
Nancy Pelosi down a couple
Never went
stairs.
in.
You never
I
went
was on
in?
the west side.
No, he
I never
wasn't. He
went
was
in
on the
building.
side.
Actually, I did go in after I got released from prison for the first time in my life.
Wow.
February 2025. It was the first time I'd ever been in the building. I didn't go in. I didn't assault anybody. I didn't break anything. I didn't steal anything. I showed up and, I think mostly because I wasn't moving in the video where everybody was dynamic. And I had the big blue coat on, and the coat is literally a Kuwait Oil company jacket. So,
Wow.
yeah, it stood out. And so since I wasn't moving and I'm rinsing my eyes out, I clearly got caught with the camera pretty quick. Kind of hard to catch a bunch of dynamic people moving around, and then somebody's not moving with a big blue coat on. That's the asshole that's going to get in trouble. Me, that'd be me.
Good job. Now you have a carry.
That's right.
You have a carry permit.
I did back then. I had a Texas carry permit back then. Yeah.
But you can't carry interstate.
Well, there's a reciprocity with a lot of states, especially now. Most states are constitutional carry.
29.
Minnesota is not. But most states are constitutional carry. I constantly carry my firearm on my side everywhere I go.
And your firearm training came from?
Texas. And life experiences and
Family.
certifications.
Yeah. I mean, in New York, I didn't really have any guns to play with, right, Johnny? You grew up with no guns, maybe a BB gun, yeah.
Yeah, I had a BB gun and stuff. I just want to say because one of the things that really roasts my chestnuts is that when President Trump spoke the other day, he spoke the truth. And the left-wing media that didn't do it, well, maybe got forced to do it before he said his speech, they said he always lies. Yeah. So how are these people that watch these things believe? And the truth is that indisputable truth that they conspired to cheat and hurt millions of people. You definitely one of them, guy, and the millions of other people that are suffering. And the truth is out there for us to see it, undisputable, put out by the president, and there's still people that don't even want to believe it. Sad.
Yeah, it's really bad. I believe that
They just don't. They just don't want to. You can choose to decide what you want to believe, what you don't want to believe, but the facts are still the facts. You're not gonna remove the facts from what exists.
A lot of it, I always say, is that it's that sunken cost theory. You can apply it to anything. You can certainly apply it to COVID. By the way, and speaking of rear admirals that served Lindsey Graham, say what you want, but if you ever want to believe someone, because you brought up COVID and it's my thing, Dr. Drew was the guy that was behind all the medical stuff, and then a year later, he was one of the guys that said, I was wrong. They lied. And he came out this week and he said, you look at how Lindsey Graham died, okay? And there's a tweet of Lindsey Graham getting the vaccine, pushing it, telling when to get it. And I have no problem with Lindsey Graham. Love what he did in the Kavanaugh hearing. I know he's a warmonger, but Dr. Drew said it. He's like, you look, this aortic tear, a lot of these, he's like, I've been a doctor. He's like, I saw 4 in the past 20 years. He's like, I've seen 20 in the past year.
Well,
and if you think that's not COVID.
Any autopsies that were taken, because most of the bodies were destroyed so they couldn't do it, but 76% of the autopsies were death related because of the COVID vaccine.
And they have that calamari stuff. What's it
That
called?
stuff's creepy. These blood clots.
And they look like calamari. Once you see them, you can't unsee them. But yeah, if you don't understand, like all of this, it's about control. And I'll bring this back so it looks like I'm not drunk and I had a couple at breakfast. What are you, Mother Cabrini? You never touched this stuff? But what I'm saying is, if you don't understand that there's so much about control, and you said it, people would rather be controlled than be free. And it gets back to these Muslims or whatever that wear the hijab because they want you to believe women have to cover their beauty because men can't control themselves. And once I say you can't control yourself and you start to believe it in this religion, what do? You let someone else control you, and you believe in ridiculous things like Sharia law.
Wait, Gino, why do the little girls have to cover up then?
They have to be able to run or limp.
It's a sad time right now, but I believe that God, Jesus is going to conquer the nation back. The American people are not going to put up with it. When I saw millions of people down there on January 6th, Guy Refford, you were one of them. You made some pretty good friends out of that mess, but you spent a lot of time in jail. When did they get you? How did they get you? Did they flash bang you, break into your house?
Yeah, I don't just have friends. I have a huge network. I have a family. The J6 network is a massive family. There's a lot of us that come together, that we work together, we pray together. We have a lot of good stuff together. We work together on the legal cases a lot, so it's huge. Your second part of your question was, I'm sorry.
When you got busted, did they come to the house nicely and ask you to come down to the precinct?
Yeah, I mean, if you call a big SWAT van and helicopters and a bunch of armed people nice, I guess
Very
it's
cordial.
good. I mean, there we go back to choices again and how you want to see things. But yeah, no, they came, they raided me. It was splash bangs. It was crazy, pointing guns at everybody. It's just disturbing that they take you down that way, because in reality, all I did was show up at protests.
It's supposed to be disturbing because they want to disturb every other American so they don't do
right.
what you did, peacefully protest.
Just
God
like
forgive
you
me for
said,
even implying
it's
you
mind
didn't know
control.
that.
Now the facts are out from very top of the echelons, from Obama, Brennan, and all those guys.
Good
coordinated
stuff.
This to arrest and hurt millions of American people. It's pretty sad. I couldn't live with it.
We have to go to
Yeah,
a...
if we don't see arrests, we're screwed.
Hey, listen.
We got to see some arrests.
Well, that's going to happen. We got 4 months and everything. They're all going. Hey, I see Scotty Lebedo up there, great American patriot. Does he got a message for us?
So there's this guy named Donald. And for years, every fucking day, he was dragged through the court system, sued for billions of dollars, frivolous rape charges, overpriced this, whatever, everything, dragged through the courts. They raided his homes. They rummaged through his wife's underwear drawers and his children's personal shit. This happened to this man every day, and he showed up there strong and persistent because he knew he was innocent, and it was all proven. How does this fucking society do that to an innocent man whose one fault is that he's doing everything he can to save this country? But yet, fast forward now, 2026, we have a known treasonous, terrorist sympathizing, America-hating piece of shit as the mayor of New York City, Zoran Mamdani, who is getting away with all of this shit, and he's a known terrorist sympathizer. He is public enemy number one. He's best friends with Hassan Piker, who said Americans deserve 9/11. He preaches down with America, destroy America. So does that little other piece of shit, fucking jihad gypsy terrorist, cocklid Mahmoud. Not even here illegally, but he's best friend, and his administration personnel in City Hall speaking to the Iranian regime, the enemy. And we can't take this fucker down. You know who I blame? Not these fucking pussy-ass Democrats who are afraid to pull the reins back at their radicals. Let them destroy themselves. I'm pissed off at you fuckers that we voted for, that I trusted in. We trusted in you. Oh, vote for me. I'm the Republican that's going to take this down and hand out accountability and take down these treasonous enemies. This fucking guy's laughing at every one of us because you fucking pussies are afraid. Disgusting. This last fucking piece of shit mayor sent 60 cops to lock me up for throwing a slice of pizza over the fence at City Hall. But this fucker is walking free. This terrorist known fucker, this Zoran Mamdani piece of shit. Get him on fucking jaywalking. Get him on pissing his fucking drawers. Get him on anything. And do what you did to Donald Trump to this fucker. Slow him down. Nah, we can't. You can't because you're pussies. I said it 30 years ago, and I'll say it to the day I fucking get this fixed. The pussification of a fucking nation.
I guess they got a lot of moss in Staten Island.
Beep. You know, I watched Scotty's movie, too, The Relentless Patriot. I think it probably went along that way, right?
I want to thank Luke the Nuke for censoring that man.
Yeah.
A lot of beeping.
A lot of beeping, a lot of words.
He's a talented man, Scott Lebedo, but he really touched a couple of things that really upset me. And number one was he touched upon the Republican Party. And it seems like we are prepared to do whatever we have to, including go to jail, Guy Reffitt. How far is this going to go? We're going to have to do it again?
You know, if the Republican Party doesn't get a spine in them, we're not going to get through this very well. So, and, you know, if asked again, if we have to do what we got to do as Americans, we will. I have no qualms about that. But if the Republican Party would be so kind as to avoid that for us, that'd be great.
I don't think they're gonna, Guy. But let me ask you a question. Since you got this friendship and family that has, you know, that came about, people that never even knew each other. You know what I mean? It just was there.
Yeah.
Do you think that there are many of them that might want to run for office and make some changes? Are there?
You know, we have several of them that have run for office, and some of them they're working really hard to get in those positions, but it's a difficult process. There are a lot of rhinos in the system.
You know,
they're just not going to stand up like they should. We have had Philip Grillo and a few others that have run in positions looking for office. It's just difficult.
Phil Grillo's a great friend of the Warehouse. He's a welcome
good
guest,
guy.
24/7, Marine, you know, great heart, Jesus lover. You know, he was so against it. He had the right for life and stuff. I mean, he was really on the cutting edge and really what the American people believe in. I just want to go back to you, Guy, and offer you this. The America First media and television organization wants these great patriots to come on. If we can get a handful of your high-profile guys and talk to them, we'd like to share their information. Lisa Azzarelli, I'm sure, would love to interview one or two people, one at a time. We want to promote America First values, right? And, you know, listen, I know Chris Burgard, who did that cartoon and did the movie. He talks about a Muslim friend of his that saved his life when he was out overseas. They're friends. He lives in Texas, but he converted to Jesus, and he doesn't, you know, he's not part of that Sharia law thing. And, you know, even though you think it's not there, I don't really see too much of it, but now I see it wherever I turn.
It's just about assimilation. I mean, you come into our culture, you assimilate. When I was in their culture, I learned to speak Arabic. I learned their culture because that's the fair thing to do. I mean, it's what you're doing. And I wasn't even living there like that. I was there working. I was there a lot, but I would, there's an assimilation process. When I was in the Asian cultures, I learned Bahasa Malay and some Thai. You have to learn. The assimilation process is important. And if you're not going to assimilate, go home.
Well, I am like blown away by you. I mean, because I knew your wife for like 4 years, and I just knew of you. You were like this guy on the phone that would call, and she would walk away and talk to you and stuff. And then John, you had an opportunity to meet him when he came out, right?
Everybody that I met there, I love. There's so many good people, and just so sad that it was all taken because of corruption and bad power, and it started at the top. The proof is out there now so that you can see it yourself, and anybody that doesn't agree with it, shame on them. But the pain that you and everybody else had to go through was just, I couldn't even imagine, nor do I want to imagine. And then to live knowing that you were innocent and that you didn't do anything wrong, and 4 years being locked up because of the corruptness, I'm looking forward to seeing them get perp walked. I'm looking forward to it.
God bless you. My wife is the most amazing patriot on this planet. She's my hero. She's got a podcast out to Freedom's Front Porch, which is pretty good. So that's actually, everybody should check that out. You know, and having her and Mickey Wickoff, Ashley Babbitt's mama out there, and the strength that those ladies showed the women of this country, you know, they need to see how strong women need to be. And those women were amazing out there on that corner and have been fighting for this movement since the beginning. And just amazing. I've never in my younger years did I ever think that I was going to find such an amazing angel to be with for the rest of my life. She is absolutely that one.
And they were amazing because I'll never forget the first time that we showed up. We showed up with a van full of people, and it was the worst weather. Well, the first night we were in the front of the jail, and then the second time we finally found out where you guys were. We brought a bunch of people, and the weather was so bad that we were talking like, wow, we'll just get out of here fast, you know what I mean? But they were there every single night. Rain, sleet, snow or shine. They are amazing patriots and people that love their men that were in jail over there. I was impressed with them.
When you see all these crazies, or I say these crazies, leftist women out there talking about women empowerment, no, you guys need to. These women that were doing this out there on that corner, fighting as hard as they did against the left, those are women of empowerment. Those are the women that we need to see our young girls raise up and fight like these women did for what is right in this country. These are the empowered.
You know, Guy, you mentioned earlier that Nicole will be on a show here. That show is being produced out of the America First Media and Television, and it's Freedom's Front Porch.
Freedom's Front Porch. That's right.
Freedom's Front Porch. And Nicole Reffett will be there with Tammy Perryman. Johnny, you remember Tammy, Brian's wife. She was in the house.
I remember her because she was a good cook.
Yeah, she did cook a lot.
She did eat well.
Yeah, we did. We rang the bells, but they were very far away. Johnny and I once we saw them, we fell in love with them. The night to watch them, they list all the names. They read off every single night. They sing the America song. I think the Star Spangled Banner came out. You guys, we would sing that at 9 o'clock every single night. Were you not part of that platinum singing group?
I don't know that I was in the original one that was put together for Trump with him saying the Pledge of Allegiance, but I was there in the beginning and the inception of it. Me and Jessica Watkins were pretty strong advocates of keeping that going when everybody was down and feeling beat up because of how they were portraying us out there. It was the anthem that kept us together for the most part. It kept everybody singing in unison inside. Even if we were in our cells, we were screaming it through the doors, and we were doing it every night at 9 o'clock. And it just made you feel better to know that everyone was with you, even if they were fighting. For that one point in time, for those moments, we were all together. We never did fray from that.
I'm going to tell you, it was an amazing thing, too, to be there firsthand for myself. And I remember you guys flickering the lights, and I would say, look at them, they're doing the light switch and flicking the lights. But then somebody corrected me, they don't have any light switch. They're doing it with their blankets or their pillows to show appreciation that we were out there, because you could see where they were, and the lights were going on and off,
great.
But,
the anthem that he's talking about, do they play that on another show called Cowboy Logic?
I missed that.
You've been on Cowboy Logic, have you not, Guy?
I have, yep. Don and Donna, they've been with us since the beginning as well. It's been.
Luke recognizes
it's
the
such
song.
It's such a big family from one end of this country to the other.
I love the Cowboy Logic people. They had a big event here one time, and we set up a judge's table, and we put them up on the stage, and they went around the J6s that were there. There was a husband and wife team. I don't know. Everybody did different things, man. But you were like the worst of the worst, Guy. Didn't they give you one of the heaviest charges and put you away for as long as they could?
Initially, my sentence was the highest sentence handed out of 87 months from an actual trial. I mean, there were some plea deals before that, but the first trial, and they gave me 87 months. They asked for 15 years initially, but then they argued for several hours that I should get a terrorism enhancement, and which would have elevated my sentence to life, technically, because they wanted 33 points on the sentencing guideline scale, which would have been, I forget how many years. But then they wanted another 12-point enhancement, which is 45 would have been the totality of the numbers on the sentencing guideline. And that is 2 points higher than a life sentence.
Did they offer you a plea if you didn't want to go to jail? They said if you turn state's evidence, we're not going to put you away?
There was some discussion of a plea between me and my attorney, but I right off the rip said not doing it, so there wasn't a whole lot of discussion on it. My understanding was there was an email and discussion of 41 to 51 months, but You know, as an honorable human in this society, I couldn't do it. I know that a lot of people, you know, did. It just wasn't something for me.
Yeah, so you made that decision and you decided to go to jail.
I mean, simply put, if you don't get this, this is what we were talking about when they throw numbers up and say, here, I'll do it like this. Oh, we did that. When they throw numbers up and say, these people all pleaded guilty, it's because of patriots like this guy, where they're like, you're facing life. Would you like a plea deal? Yes, please.
Yeah.
And this guy was such a man. He's like, I'm not playing your stupid treasonous game. But that's why it's so easy for the left to say, you know, oh, it wasn't an insurrection? You know how many people pled guilty? You mean pled down so they didn't get life for going through a red velvet rope? You fucking piece of
Beep,
shit.
beep,
I'm
beep, beep,
sorry.
beep. Beep, beep, beep,
If you
beep,
can
beep.
think
It
of
is
a
a
better
difficult
way to
decision.
describe our government when they did that to people like this, then fine. But I know
It's
you want to
getting
control
worse.
I know the left. I know Rachel Maddow said that last night, so I don't want to quote her. Are you nuts? That's the only way to describe what went on. And they literally threatened this man with his life for being a patriot.
Listen, I think I got lined up a commercial over there. Looks like for Sugar Creek Goods. You want to run that for us?
Me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic place in all the land. Hey, I'm here getting cleansed up. You know why? Because Sugar Creek Goods is a great place by patriots, making patriot soaps, making me smell nice. And that's what's nice. Who wants to go down the street and smell of somebody bad in New York City? Hey, by the way, what's this thing for?
250 years ago, a nation was born, built on courage, driven by freedom, defined by patriots who stood their ground. Today, we don't just remember that legacy, we wear it. This is more than a shirt. It's a symbol of strength, freedom, and pride. I'm Steve Stern, COO of theflagshirt.com, and I invite you to celebrate 250 years of the United States with us. Wear your pride, stand for something, get your shirts today.
You know what is more disappointing than Gino Bisconte, everyone?
My sex life?
No, bad cell service. Let's make fun of Gino. Oh, wait, he's here.
Well, speaking of the opposite of his sex life, these people have towers that are huge and they're everywhere. And while you're traveling, you can use these huge towers. PatriotMobile.com/ it bends to the right. I don't have to tell you. TAFW. And then you can talk about me behind my back.
Patriotic people doing patriotic things.
Corporate transfer. Fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
It's me, Joe the Box, and I'm John the Blanket with the America First podcast.
That's what I'm talking about. The Fred Rubino podcast coming to you from the America First Warehouse.
Welcome, everybody, to the James Justice Show, tearing these airwaves apart with all the craziness that goes on in the world.
Welcome to the Patriots podcast. Good evening, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the On the Right Side podcast here at the America First Warehouse in Long Island, New York.
Shane Jenkins here with another episode of Liberty's Cage.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Red, Right, and True.
We are streaming live on America First Media and Television app.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Downey Jr. podcast. Be free, stay free.
The America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
We are back, and it's unbelievable. Guy Reffett is here. What he had gone through as a father, as a man working, American citizen, you know, just really loving life. I had to go to court, had to deal with, you know, the lying press, the lying news. My friend, Lisa Azzarelli, is tasked to ask a few questions about that. Might be a little personal, but I believe Guy can handle it, and the American people can handle it, too. Lisa?
So, Guy, we're happy to have you on the show today to always hear both sides of the story. And that's the most important factor that we do try to convey through all the laughs and through some of the things that people might consider outrageous here on the America First podcast. Truth be told, we do try to get to the bottom line. And one of the major controversies surrounding your case was your relationship and situation with your children, the witness testimony against you from them. And there seemed to be, as you said, your wife has stood by your side. I believe you have daughters as well that stood by your side. The age of the children, your son at the time that this took place, could be the teenage years, as we know, could be a college kid under, some type of direction from the coursework that we know across colleges can be daunting for parents to face these days. Either way, your version of what happened, the true version of your experience from that standpoint, can you clarify it for our audience, for our viewers?
Yeah, my son and I, and my kids and my wife, we lived in Malaysia. We've been a tight family. We're always a close family. We're always, loving. The kids have always been amazing. But the government did use my son as a tool against me because of his political ideology. It doesn't fall in line with mine. He's definitely not a Trump fan, although I am. But he and I had some scuffs in 2020. He was 17, turned 18 August before January 6th, and so they found a useful tool to use him to attack me and use him as a witness in the trial. Since then, we are back together. We've had times together. We had Mother's Day together. We're going to go canoeing the first week of next month in Tahlequah, Oklahoma. So that's going to be quite fun. We're going to have a good time. We get along just fine now. Everything is, I finally got to hug him for the first time recently, and it's been good ever since. We communicate, we talk. I love my children, and it doesn't matter what people say or what they try to portray us as, and what kind of person they try to make me out to be. I never give up on my family. My family is the most important thing in the world to me.
Amazing.
So, my kids are amazing.
That's
beautiful. My wife's been such an amazing wife and amazing mother. And I don't care what they say out there in the news and the media and what the government try to portray, they're full of shit.
Yeah. Well, that's a testament that our audience and our viewers need to hear, Guy, and we're happy to have it straight from your mouth, because the confusion, as we can see with ABC and NBC with what just happened with Trump, they tend to, cherry pick, and that type of information gets lost in context, right? When context is not included, and the fact that you had political differences, he was a teenager at the time, all of those play an important role. Do we get heated? Of course we do. I'm a Sicilian Italian from Brooklyn. If you heard the way we talked in my house, people, if they weren't from that culture, that time, they would be like, oh my gosh. But, actually, it's really kind when we speak to each other. It's spoken with love and honesty. And so I'm happy that your family was able to reunite after this, because getting past all of the things that have happened from J6, completely agree. And I think the whole panel will agree that family is so important. And we're happy to see that you had that closure. Thank you for answering the question.
Thank you. I like to tell people this, and this is the way I like to look at it. When you're raising children, it's really messy. It's a very difficult process. Anybody who's done it will tell you the same. But if you don't figure out how to deal with your children and sometimes be a little rougher than people would like to see, at some points, then the law will. You don't want the law to do it. I did 4 years in prison showing that the law can be pretty brutal. And you don't want them doing something that you need to do in your own home. You need to control that environment the best you can. It's not always easy.
Wonderful and truthful. Thank you.
God, family, and country. It's just a great place to be. And I can tell you firsthand my own experience with Nicole. Excuse me. Going down to D.C. the many times that I had, watching them, supporting her. She had some car problems. We took care of that, right, Johnny boy? We got the
God
van
bless you guys
down
for
there.
being there for my wife. I tell you, there's so many patriots during all of this. It's amazing.
But I will tell you, brother, nothing but class and respect. Nicole was on the front line there all the time, proud of you. You know, and I'm looking at them and going, I can't believe that they just did this to them. She really organized it well, handled it well with the strength. There's a great story with her and Mickey meeting each other in the courtrooms. Mickey Whithoff is Ashley Babbitt's mom. I don't know if you can see it on the back of my car. I have Ashley Babbitt's face that she was murdered on January 6th by Capitol Police. We have a corner for her.
Mickey's amazing too. I mean, there's not enough words to express what an amazing woman she is.
Yeah, she is a woman that really didn't get involved in the politics so much. She lived a life in Southern California, you know, and her daughter did serve this country for 12 years in the Air Force. You know, which is quite a thing. She was a real patriot, and it makes me so angry that our government did this to us. All right, listen, we got a lot more bad stuff coming from the government. Let's get ready for it. Do you have any more clips for me lined up? I know we got a second, the final segment. I'm going to work through these clips and try and end this as soon as I can. Here's a public announcement from our former president, Joe Biden.
A situation where we have put together, and you guys did it for our the President Obama's administration before this. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
Now, that was not an AI-generated speech by fake president, lying President Joe Biden. That was actually a tongue, well, what do they call them when you say a truth, you know, and just...
Freudian slip?
Well, Freudian is a little more sexual than that, unless Gino was thinking that way. I don't know.
That's what Gino wears
when he was looking at him. I don't know. But actually, he admitted to exactly what Trump was talking about. And it's just like him sitting on the stage in Ukraine going, you know, damn near got that 6 million done.
God, son of a
as soon as I threatened him. But this is what Trump was talking about, and these are the examples. They're all over the place with the fake elections and the lies.
And remember when Corinne Jean-Pierre, by the way, and if you don't know how useless Corinne Jean-Pierre is, if you don't get that, she, like, whenever someone leaves the press secretary gig, they can write their own ticket on any news network. Not even CNN could have that dummy on. That dummy. The only thing she was offered to do was be the whatever it is at that gay parade. She was like this, I forget what it's called, the spokesperson or whatever. But my point is, like, she's the idiot that's like, she starts saying, these are all deep fakes. And they weren't. But before AI really became what it is, he was so laughably stupid and a doddering fool. They're like, no, it's a deep fake. And it was so bad, people believed it. They're like, yeah, that can't be real because that's our president. That can't be real. And it was.
They had no hesitation locking you up, Guy. How do you feel about locking them up?
Oh, yeah. I dream of hearing cuffs, just shackles and chains, and talking about Con Air and how these people are just traveling the country like they did me, from place to place, diesel therapy everywhere. These are the kind of stories I want to hear from now on out. I want to hear about Nancy Pelosi and all of these traitors to our country being locked up in shackles and chains. That's the noise I want to hear.
Who is your first choice to see locked up?
Good one. Great question.
Obama.
Right to the
Great
top.
answer.
Yeah, might as well.
The only name mentioned.
Everyone knows I go straight forward.
You know, Guy, he was the only name mentioned in Trump's speech the other day when he talked about it. And it is pretty pathetic how it came out. They're going to spin it any way they can, not covering the speech. It's pretty bad, no doubt about it.
That video, of Joe Biden that you showed, you sure he wasn't eating ice cream before he made that video?
It looked like he might have spilled some ice cream on his shirt. I think I saw a spot over there.
Yeah.
And yeah, he likes ice cream, Joe Biden. You didn't vote for him, did you? Did you vote for him?
No, I wouldn't vote for that motherfucker.
Whoa! Beep, 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 beep.
I just saw a clip of
Biden.
Yes, I'm sorry. I just saw a clip of Biden, and I'd forgotten it, when he was trying to push the vaccine, and he's on the stage with that guy, and he's like, you got the vaccine, right? And he goes, yeah. And rather than run with it, he's like, ha, ha, and he just starts babbling about if you want your kid to see the man on the moon. Remember, was that? And again, people are like, well, that was no, it wasn't. And by the way, earlier you said God, family, country. It's not what they want. They want country, family, God, because they want you to put the country first and not the country the way we put it, because we put God then family first. They want country to replace God. They want the president to replace your family. They're fucking pieces of shit.
Beep, beep.
God, family, and guns.
Hey, listen, I'm really going to get you upset now. Run a couple of these clips and we'll talk about it. And we'll try and run the show out from here. No more commercials. But give me a clip and then we're going to go lightning round for everybody what you think.
When
What's
we
next?
say America will be a Muslim country someday, inshallah, people look at us with skepticism. But the reality is, that's our goal. Everybody has their own idea what they want America to be. We believe the best thing for Islam, the best thing for America is Islam. Islam will rule the...
I love that.
Yeah, me too. I like that one. Guy, what do you think about that one?
Yeah, I think there's only one way to do certain things, but then that's my opinion.
Yeah, well, I like yours. Johnny?
Well, they're definitely not assimilating America here, so how did they get in? Are they legal citizens? I guarantee you most of them aren't.
I don't know. Kevin Downey Jr.
Well, I think we got to get these globalists to stop letting these people in. This is an invasion, nothing else, nothing less. We were told for 30 years you can't make fun of can't criticize minorities. Why? Well, because they're here to rape and kill us, and they want us to go down quietly.
Do you think they were telling the truth, Gino?
No, and the more you get away with lying, and the more you get away with inflammatory rhetoric, the more you're like, why would I stop? Why stop now?
Luke, do you listen to church?
I do listen to church.
I love that you do that with your nana,
Favorite
right?
part is
Yes.
when you say hello to shake hands with everybody in church.
They don't do that anymore, by the way. You know that, right?
Peace
Last
be
time
with
I
you.
went to church.
I was just watching the ceremony of the World Cup, and I was like watching like some of the soccer players. Some of them shook Donald Trump's hand and gave him like a few minutes, but some of them didn't. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, geez, Lukey. We're going to have to work on that word. We're going to have to work on that. Now, Lisa, I'm going to have you comment on the next video. Can you run the next one for me? And, Lisa, you'll open up with this one.
Did you say free fries when you get vaccinated?
What a position.
I got vaccinated. You're saying I could get this? These delicious fries? Wait a minute. But there's also a burger element to this?
Burger wasn't free. Burger wasn't free.
The burger wasn't free on both. But not the front was.
If this is appealing to you, just think of this when you think of vaccination.
The staring is biased and false news has become all too common on social media. Unfortunately, some of them need the platform was so put all those bots. Maybe it doesn't have to draw and so just in what you wait and this is where the dangerous still bots.
Vaccination.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
I'm getting a very good feeling about vaccination right this moment.
Lisa, you must have liked that one.
Oh, yeah, right up my alley. So there's so many points to break down within that video. One, we talk about coordinated media messaging. We clearly see it there. On top of that, we see de Blasio, who we know is a socialist, and he basically assisted primarily in the lockdown of one of the most populated cities in the world. And then we have the untruths about COVID, get vaccinated. If anyone has to sell you something, give you free fries for you to go and get a jab, you have to know that there's a catch to that, okay? And as you gentlemen mentioned earlier, with Lindsey Graham's aortic rupture, there is pericarditis and myocarditis now legitimately entrenched in the COVID reactions. So that's just some of what I could break down in that video. It's infuriating. But again, truth will come to light over time.
Guy Refford, you feel like storming the Capitol after that one, or what?
I'll just laugh.
They tried to shut down the Pac-12.
Gina, what do you think?
They tried to shut down the Pac-12. They tried to shut down the Big Ten. They tried to mandate vaccines. They left out, the thing where it's very good people on both sides? They did the same thing with the COVID narrative. They tried to shut down the Pac-12 and the Big Ten because they said if you get COVID, you've got a 50% chance higher of getting myocarditis. But they left out if you get COVID or the flu, which is the same thing, or the rhinovirus, which is the common cold. Any of those things led to a 50% increase. They just put those two words and shut down leagues. And I know a guy who was a sports writer for iHeartRadio, pushed back and they fired him. They said, "Shut your fucking mouth, sir."
Oh my goodness! Bleep, bleep, bleep. Johnny.
I gave up on the French fries when they changed the oil. Remember, it was the French fries were delicious, man.
Yeah.
They were really good.
Speaking of changing the oil, how's it going on that cruise ship?
Glucose oil, and then the French fries tasted like shit. So I'm not going to get a shot for shitty French fries.
No.
What am I doing?
I like
But
McDonald's
boy,
fries.
that De Blasio guy made him sound delicious. Kevin, didn't he?
You know what? That was one of the most disgusting commercials out of the COVID. I'm feeling good about the vaccination right now, my French fries. I thought, who's buying this? What idiot is going, man, I wasn't going to do it, but now that he's eating those French fries and chewing with his mouth open, I'm ready to get vaccinated.
Well, New York loves them. Did you love those French fries?
Oh, I love any kind of French fries.
Yeah, it's true. He does.
That's some White Castle.
Listen, I see another one over here. This guy, Tim Kramer, came into the warehouse at Rudy Giuliani's birthday. He was traveling to D.C. from Ohio, so he swung through because he saw the party. I know him from that show tonight. He's involved in helping produce some of that comedy show that we're doing on August 7th. But he's got you see him all the time. I see him all the time. He works in a think tank in D.C., and he's pretty sharp and pretty smart. Tim Kramer, let's run this one and get some thoughts.
There's none. There's no cheating. There's no cheating at all. Okay, well, there's a little cheating, but it's not nearly as bad as you think it is. Okay, it's as bad as you think it is, but it didn't affect anything. That's the progression. That's what they're going to say. In fact, they're already saying it.
Election systems across the U.S. are found to have deleted millions of votes cast for President Trump. According to an unaudited analysis of data obtained from Edison Research, states using Dominion voting systems may have switched as many as 435,000 votes from President Trump to Joe Biden. Now, the author also finds another 2.7 million Trump votes appear to have been deleted by Dominion.
Now, I don't know what you saw during the 2020 election, but what I saw was an election unlike any election we've ever had in this nation.
Most secure.
And then after it was over, you weren't allowed to talk about it. You couldn't say that you believed that something weird happened. If you did that, you were somehow anti-American. Well, speaking out against a coup happening or election interference happening is the most American thing you can fucking do.
Beep.
But I digress.
Is he from your family, Gino?
On
He is
top
good
of
looking.
everything from the pandemic, everything about the election was irregular. States changed how they did things without changing the law. They violated their own laws. States stopped counting the votes for the first time in U.S. history. They all decided to get together and stop counting votes all at the same time. But not red and blue states, just blue states. And then anyone who had a problem with the election, they censored, they went after, they tried to remove them from society as much as they could. That's what I saw during the 2020 election. Now, was that normal in America? No, it's not. So the people who did all that shit, the people who are guilty of doing what they did, are going to do everything in their power to maintain their innocence and their freedom. So what I've been talking to you about for the last few years is now coming to a point. It's coming to a head. When I said that it's going to get a lot worse before it gets any better, let me put things into context. At some point in the future, right now, today, you will remember this video and remember that today was the good old days.
You're watching the Kramer Says Project.
Makes me sick.
Wow, he pretty much nailed that. I didn't see nothing with the 2020 election. Did you, Guy Reffitt, see any problems with the 2020 election? Is that your answer again?
I might have seen a few. I might have seen a few things. I think that there was probably one or two incidences there. I was like, yeah, there's something wrong. Yeah, for sure. That's the other thing is like, it's the obvious things that we're seeing that everybody is trying to tell us in the media that we're full of shit. It's like, but we saw it. So again, they tried to, with the Mockingbird Media Project, they just try to tell us that we're all wrong. And it's like, bro, I'm seeing it. The sky is really blue.
Yeah.
And you're still traitors to our country.
Lisa, did you see anything with that, Lisa? Anything with that election integrity?
Tremendous. First of all, when Hillary Clinton lost the 2016 election, why was it okay for her to parade around screaming about an election integrity and saying that the election was stolen? Now, when in 2020, when it occurs, and in a more devastating way, right? So 2016, it was Russia, Russia, Russia. But then in a May 1st, 2019 interview, Hillary Clinton with Rachel Maddow explicitly states, oh, well, if the Republicans can use Russia, which was determined a complete hoax, we can use China. The Democrats should be using China. She said that repeatedly. And then lo and behold, what do we find out last Thursday? That the CIA has legitimate documents that have determined China's influence in the American election. So you almost have to wonder, how long were they coordinating that if she was already saying it back in 2016 or 2019? I mean, they are a powerhouse, and they are a threat, a foreign entity threat, and we have evidence on that. The people and the states involved in that, yes, need to be brought to justice. And these preemptive pardons from Biden, I don't even understand why they're still standing in relation to the last video on COVID. Fauci should definitely be arrested. Have any of us ever heard of a time in our lives we could say, you know what, just in case, after I leave office, if all the people I affiliated with who committed crimes happen to get caught, I'm gonna preemptively pardon them. No, but they'll argue that Guy Reffitt was part of it.
Johnny, did you see anything wrong with that?
You know what? I see the truth, and if this doesn't, ring home to anybody that's a Democrat, so they had just a hearing not too long ago, a few days ago, on all the fraud that is so clear and rampant, and not one Democrat showed up. So what do you think? They're going to stop themselves from cheating on the elections? They wouldn't have positions, like Trump said. The ones that are fighting the cheating are the ones that are causing the cheating. That's why they don't want to talk.
I don't like it. Gino, go ahead, tell them.
Simply put, the 2020 election was the worst and the best thing for democracy. It was the worst. It was inevitable. It was inevitable how much they were cheating, how we've seen it going on. They talked about it. Hillary even said it, even though she lied. But then Trump 45 got to sit and watch Joe Biden the disaster and study up for Trump 47. And think about it. He would have been going out in 2024, and Lord knows what Pence would have been doing those 4 years, that piece of SHIT garbage.
Wow.
But now
Trump,
he
wants to spell.
Almost bleep. Almost bleep.
Bleep, bleep.
That DUMMY retard. But you understand, but it was also the best thing because Trump 47 comes in. He knows who his friends are. And he knew who most of his friends are. He's still learning. But that's how you got to look at it.
It had to happen that way.
Yeah, that's how you got to look at it.
I don't like that. I don't think it should be acceptable. I think what they did to the J6 is they got to come back and really make it right for everybody in J6 and all the people that got arrested.
Amen.
Rudy Giuliani, John Eastman, the whole Fulton County lie, the Michigan lie, the Arizona lie.
But if they don't steal the election, J6 doesn't happen. So these guys, we're not talking to this patriot like this. Not to interrupt you.
The 2020 election was so fucking rigged.
I'm washing your mouth out with a bar of soap. I can't even show the show to Nana.
But as bad as
Stop the
J6
F-bombs.
was,
Don't
thank
listen to
God.
him.
J6 doesn't happen if they don't steal 2020, but they do. And thank God for patriots like this. I cannot thank you enough. Even you, who couldn't sleep every night waiting for them to come in, thank God for these guys. You did the heavy lifting, and I'm eternally grateful, my man, so thank you.
Yeah, it's not an easy task, Guy Reffitt. What you got to do now, and what do you try and rebuild people's your life back because they basically stole everything. Are there, where do people do? How can I help you? I mean, besides what you're doing, coming on the shows, and I thank you so much for that because we're really educating the American people with it. So, I see behind you, you got some information. You got a minute and a half to close the show out. My show is yours. Let it rip.
For me, rebuilding is something that God gave me the chance to do in ways that other people are struggling with, and I'm blessed, and that's why it says that guy rep at J6. This is my social media accounts all over, and it's a difficult process. Being as blessed as I've been is something that I wish could be given to the rest of the J6 community, but it's not happening. We're losing J6ers constantly. People are not making it through this. It's such a difficult process to try to get a job. Some of these folks can't get a job, and then when they get a job, they can't keep the job because they find out they're a J6 defendant, and they fire them, and these people are struggling. So if we can't get compensation for everyone that was persecuted against, whether it's J6ers or Mike Flynn, or Mike Flynn and Mike Lindell and all of the people, Tina Peters. Oh my God, what a patriot she is! A Gold Star mother. These are people that like myself, that our lives have been taken from us, that have been ripped apart. Our families. Some people are not here anymore. They're angels in heaven, but their lives were persecuted to the point where they didn't feel they could handle it. That's not fair in this country. This is not how America works. We take care of our people, we defend our country, we protect our lands, and we fight for what is right. And that's the most important thing we can do.
Well, God bless you, Guy Refford, your wife, and Nicole, the J6 family. We were blessed to have you on our show tonight.
God, make sure you have a cigar.
Yeah, well, Lukey likes cigars. We're going next door.
I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do anything anymore.
Don't drink, don't smoke. What do you
and he doesn't curse.
Yeah, no, he doesn't curse either.
I do try to avoid it.
You're a good man, Guy Refford, and I love you, brother.
Amazing.
I love you.
We love you too, brother. We love our America First Warehouse Patriots.
We'll see you next week, right? See you next Tuesday.
Yes.
Thank you, team.
God bless you.
Thank you, team.
Warehouse, a beacon for all to see.